Howdy folks, Brother Jim reporting here at End Times Prophecy News. Outrageous. Dr. Birx went all in on the Bill Gates funded coronavirus model, sits on Gates funded foundation board. The wolves in sheep clothing. Well, the wolves in sheep clothing actually stand for pastors who teach false teaching, heresy, heretics, fake salvation is what you see mostly on TV. And so they come in sheep's clothing because the sheep represents those who are saved, but they're not saved. This is not a Christian here. This is not even a person who is coming in sheep's clothing, but she's likened onto it, huh? No, she's utterly wicked. The devils have manifested in the flesh. Dr. Birx decided to throw away several proposed models for the coronavirus outbreak and went all in on a single model funded by the Bill Gates because they were all in this concerted effort to destroy the economy, to bring in death through a pandemic, and to impeach Trump, of course. As the Gateway Pundit reported Thursday, the IHME, Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation model for the coronavirus the White House is relying on is complete garbage. The U.S. economy has been virtually shut down. Unemployment spiked and small businesses are on the verge of shuttering based on faulty projections. The IHME model, which is funded by Bill Gates, is using New York and New Jersey data and applying it to the rest of the U.S. And Bill Gates stepped down from being CEO of, I believe it's Microsoft, about 2 months ago. It predicted that over 121,000 Americans would be hospitalized Wednesday over the coronavirus. The actual number, 31,000 so far. Dr. Birx is pushing a Bill Gates funded model to scare the American public. She also sits on the board of Gates funded foundation. This potential conflict of interest demands answers since the garbage IHME coronavirus model that she is using crashed the stock market and spiked unemployment. There's a lot at stake here. Bill Gates not only funds the model, he funds the institution behind it and pays the salary of the director he handpicked to lead the study, Chris Murray. Bill Gates proposed lockdown weeks before his study was done. His study came to conclude lockdown was the answer, pointed out by national security reporter Jordan Schachtel. And not only that, but I just reported how Dr. Fauci said that Donald Trump was going to be with surprise from 2017. He said that Donald Trump is going to have to deal with a global pandemic in the near future. And here it is. Breaking news, CNN's Brooke Baldwin tests positive for coronavirus. Don't expect me to feel sorry for her. CNN pundit Brooke Baldwin has tested positive for the coronavirus, according to a statement posted to Instagram. At her age, I doubt if she suffers hardly at all anyway. Baldwin's announcement comes just days after her fellow CNN host Chris Cuomo announced he had tested positive for the Chinese virus. In an Instagram post, the 40-year-old New York-based anchor wrote that she is okay and that it came on suddenly on Thursday with chills, aches, and a fever. I've been social distancing, doing all the things we're being told to do. Really? Still, it got me. I'm unhealthy. No underlying conditions. Honestly, I feel like one of the lucky ones, Baldwin wrote. She added that she is looking forward to being back on television. No, it's a deadly coronavirus that's killing everyone. That's why we're going to shut down all of our commerce and economy. Over 2,900 people in New York City have died from the coronavirus as of Friday. Cuomo, 49 years old, announced on Thursday evening that he has lost 13 pounds in 3 days from the virus. My wife is feeding me like, we were still in the dating phase, so it's not like I'm hurting for nutrition. What? My wife is feeding me. It's like we were still in the dating phase? I'm eating and drinking constantly. I'm sweating it out, and it's the sickness. Cuomo is still appearing on television, hosting his show and trashing Trump, though, from home. And how about this one? Robert F. Kennedy's granddaughter and her son are missing in Chesapeake Bay boating accident. Let's see first. the murder by the CIA and the deep state of our governments of John F. Kennedy about 60 years ago? Yeah. Almost 60. Then there was Robert F. Kennedy, who wanted to go for president after him. They killed him. There's been so many Kennedys that the deep state has murdered. The kill list of the Kennedys are always, any woman who marries a Kennedy, man, fears a lot. And in this case, the granddaughter and her son are missing in Chesapeake Bay boating accident. Why not throw a Kennedy mystery into a crazy news cycle? Robert F. Kennedy's granddaughter, Maeve Kennedy Townsend McKean, and her 8-year-old son, Gideon Joseph Kennedy McKean, disappeared in a boating accident on Thursday. I wonder what they were saying. The Washington Post reported that the two disappeared on Thursday after they hopped into a canoe to chase down a ball that fell into the Chesapeake Bay. Oh, it's just a coincidence that the Washington Post is the first one to report it. Straight out of Jeff Bezos' mouth. Who owns Washington Post with a $600,000 contract with the government as well to produce fake news? According to the Coast Guard, the winds clocked in at 30 miles per hour and the waves were estimated 2 to 3 feet. The pair disappeared Thursday, and as of Friday, there is still no sign of them. 2 boaters who went missing in the Chesapeake Bay near Annapolis on Thursday evening have been identified as the two. And David McKean confirmed his wife and son disappeared on Thursday afternoon while in a canoe on the Chesapeake Bay. In a brief interview with the WAPO, he said the family had gathered at a waterfront house owned by his wife's mother, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, in Shadyside, Maryland. At about 4 p.m., children were kicking a ball back and forth in a yard and the ball went into the water. He said his wife and son popped into a canoe to chase it down. How far can a ball go? And a canoe just to get a ball out of the water from the shore. Are you serious? Chesapeake Bay? The Kennedy curse lives on following the assassinations of JFK and RFK. Last year, RFK's granddaughter, Source Kennedy Hill, died of an accidental drug overdose at the Kennedy's Cape Cod compound. It never stops. It's not a curse. It's a killing machine by the deep state. Candace Owens, Governor Lamont, lied about baby dying from COVID-19 and should resign. The brilliant Candace Owens, I hope she wins her congressional, she's going for Congress, I believe. Candace Owens accused Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont of lying about the infant that died this week linked to coronavirus. Candace called for the governor to resign. The story made headlines since it practically is unheard of for healthy children and infants to die from the COVID-19 virus. But the media ran with the story. It was a lie. The death of the infant in Connecticut had nothing to do with COVID-19. I know exactly how the infant died. I know this because people who were involved were mortified and angry, and they were so happy that I spoke out and called out this double speak. Candace Owens says, people reached out to me, not the mother or father. People reached out who had their hands in this, reached out to me privately and said, I want to expose that Governor Ned Lamont is lying and that this infant died because blank. Candace then lashes out at the governor. I think Governor Ned Lamont should resign. The post-mortem after this infant had already succumbed, they tested this infant for COVID-19. God knows why. Okay, because I have been trying to shout to you all, it does not matter how you die, they will test you for COVID-19. Then they will use the exact same language that Ned Lamont used. Oh, no wonder why the United States has so many people. There's people in my threads are telling me that people went to the doctor, weren't even sick or something like that, and they didn't even get a COVID-19 test, but they were deemed as having the COVID-19 or coronavirus. Can you believe this? Now they're just declaring you have the coronavirus. Candace Owens described the baby's death as an accident was told this by people who had their hands in this, but not the parents. Lies and lies. Blood was going to break out with blood more and more. This is a huge scandal if the governor lied to panic the people of Connecticut. It's so sick. The corruption never stops, does it? Another COVID-19 lie exposed. Los Angeles health officials caught lying about teenagers' death to linked coronavirus. Remember the 17-year-old Lancaster boy who died from the coronavirus? The fraudstream media ran searing headlines about the boy's death, which was described as the first known juvenile to die from the coronavirus in the U.S. Well, it turns out this story was a lie, too. California health officials are now saying they are reevaluating the teen's death, claiming the case is complex and needs to be further investigated. A couple of weeks ago, it was reported that the teen's parents took their son to an urgent care because he was suffering from a respiratory illness. The couple was supposedly turned away for not having insurance, so they took their son to an emergency room. Oh, by the way, I just heard on the news that the feds are going to pay for if you have no insurance, the feds are going to pay for you. If you have the coronavirus, they will take care of you and pay for your hospital bill. That's right. That's not saying much for the hospital, what they're going to give you, but I'm just saying they will pay for your hospital bill. But after initially reporting the boy died from the coronavirus, the Los Angeles health officials are refusing to disclose more details, citing privacy concerns. Oh, just like the Clinton death, Deadpool, huh? We're going to hide it all. CNN reported in a statement the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health said it's looking into the case further. Though early tests indicated a positive result for COVID-19, the case is complex and there may be an alternate explanation for this fatality. Hem-haw around and act like the test was no good or good. It's always excuses to cover up the truth, isn't it? Patient privacy prevents our further offering details at this time, it said in a statement. The teenage boy has been dropped from their list of deaths from the coronavirus and oh, wow. Well, meanwhile, we have another 50,000 people they're going to add to the list. How many more cases like this are out there? Untold amount, aren't there? That'll be all for this report. Thank you for listening.